Aditya, Srihari, Ashwin, Emmanuel, switch on the video. Ashwin, which is the revision topic? Today's revision topic, Ashwin?
First chapter, ma'am.
What, Ashwin?
First chapter.
What?
No.
Which are the revision portions? Today's revision portions.
Chapter
Chapter
1.
1. Entire chapter.
No.
Till loops. Okay. Emmanuel, switch on the video, Emmanuel. Okay. I will just give a brief explanation of this portion. Before that, what is token, Aditya?
Smallest individual unit.
Smallest individual unit in a program is known as token. Okay. Then under integer data type, how many under number data type, how many data types are there? Srihari?
Float,
Mm.
integer.
Mm.
That's it, right?
No, one more
I
is
don't
there.
remember, no.
You didn't learn that portion. That data type is important portion. Based on assertion also. That is very important. Data type. Okay. So which are the three? There are mainly three types of number representation. It is integer, float, and last one, which is that? Which is it, Dia?
Exponent or complex number.
Complex is the correct answer. Okay. There are mainly three types of data type. It is integer, that is int, float, and complex. Okay. Who is the creator of Python? What, Achyut? It's not clear. Guido van Rossum. Okay. You just notice that points. That is the creator of Python. It is Guido van Rossum in the year 1980, and the place also National Institute in Netherlands. Okay. Then what is interactive mode? Interactive mode. That is line by line execution. That is when we start something using there are mainly two modes based on Python. We can write program either in interactive mode or in script mode. Okay. Interactive mode means when you open the Python interpreter, here 3 arrow representation, that is indentation operator is there. Here, this is interactive mode symbol. If we write something here, we can write only one statement along with this interactive mode. Okay, then press enter, then this statement is executed. That is interactive mode. That is interactive mode. All of you switch on the video, children. Ashwin, Achyut, all of you switch on the video. Interactive mode allows us to work interactively and execute the code by typing one command at a time. Then after writing A is equal to 10, press enter. Then again this interactive mode will come. Then here, if you want to print this A, just type A, then press enter. Your result will appear here. This is the interactive mode. So when you open Python interpreter, the first window will come under this interactive mode with this interactive section. Here we can type only one statement at a time and just press enter. Then you will get another interactive mode representation. Here we can use, if you want to print the value of A, just type A, then press enter. Your value will display here. This is interactive mode. At a time, then again press enter. Your interactive mode will come. Here you can give another statement that is equal to B is equal to A plus 10. Then press enter. Again, interactive mode will come. If you want to print the result of B, just type B, press enter. It is 10 plus 10, the result 20 will appear here. Okay, this is interactive mode representation. Allows us to work interactively. It executes the code by typing one command at a time in Python shell. We are doing this interactive mode in a window known as Python shell. Okay. We are doing this program, that is one command at a time program in Python shell. Now we are doing the program in script mode. That is, the entire program is typed. After that, we execute the program or run the program. That is script mode. Now we are doing all the programs in script mode. That is, type Python program in a file. Just like a file, you type all the statements according to your program and execute the content of the file. That is, execute the entire content. Here, step-by-step execution, that is statement by statement execution in interactive mode. But in the case of script mode, it is the whole program. After writing the complete program, we are executing the program. Okay. Aryan, switch on the video. Aryan, Ashwin. Is it clear, children, this interactive mode and script mode? Okay. So there are mainly two modes based on Python. It is interactive mode and script mode. Then what is indentation? Aryan, what is indentation?
Syntax.
What, Aryan?
Syntax.
The space indentation means it is the space or tab space given for writing before tab space given for the statement. Okay, that is in the case of if statement. If I'm writing a statement like this, if A greater than B, here we can't write that print statement here because it needs some indentation. That is, after some tab space, we want to write print A. This is known as indentation. Okay. I'm just revising some topics based on that Python revision 2. All the topics are not included in your text, but these are some important topics. Okay. So it is indentation. Then comments. How we can write comments? There are mainly two types of comments. Gauri, which are the two types of comments?
Single line and multi-line.
Single line and multi-line. How we can write single line?
Hashtag.
Yes, it is using hashtag. Then multi-line?
It can be written in two ways. In the beginning, hashtag can be used or else with triple quotes.
Good, Gauri. So comments, there are mainly two types of comment representation. That is, first one, it is single line comment line. That is, hash symbol is the single line comment line. Then if you want to use multiple line comment line, start with triple single quotes and write all the comments you needed and end using another triple single quotes. Okay. Okay, Ashwin. Then Srihari, what is dynamic typing? There are mainly two types of typing, that is dynamic typing and static typing. We already done all this, but the naming, you just remember that name, dynamic typing and static typing. What is dynamic typing? Any idea? Aditya?
Type of variable can be changed in dynamic.
Yes, give one example for dynamic typing.
X equal to 10.
Ah.
Then print x.
X equal to 10, prindex is an example for static. Okay, that is we already assign one value statically before running the program. Dynamic is based on runtime. If we are assigning a value at the time of program run, that is known as dynamic running, dynamic typing. Okay. There are mainly two types of typing, that is dynamic typing and static typing. Dynamic typing means dynamic typing, for example, A is equal to input, enter value. This is an example for dynamic typing. Why? At the time of program run, we are entering some value and that value is assigned to A. That is dynamic typing. At the time of program run, dynamic means at the time of program run, execution time. So if you are executing this statement at the time of program run, we input one value and that value is assigned to A. That is dynamic typing. Then static typing means if I'm giving A is equal to 10, then here at the time of program run, before running the program, we are assigning this value. That is A is equal to 10 is an example for static typing. Is it clear?
Ma'am,
Okay, Gauri.
ma'am, in the textbook, there is an example. A is equal to 10, print A. Then A is equal to hello world, print A. So that is an example for dynamic typing.
Okay, I will explain with another example. Okay, we'll like discuss it in next class. Okay, I'll just check it. Okay. So another one, multiple assignment. What is multiple assignment? Anyone? Multiple assignment?
Comma B, comma C.
A comma B comma C. B comma C is equal to 10 comma 11 comma 100. That is multiple assignment. Okay, A comma B comma C is equal to 10 comma 11 comma 100. That is 10 is assigned to A, 11 is assigned to B, 100 is assigned to C. That is multiple assignment. Then another option, that is A is equal to, B is equal to, C is equal to 100. Here what is the result? Krishna, here what is the result? A equal to B equal to C equal to 100. Achyut, here what is the
A
result?
all becomes
Okay.
100, right?
What?
All becomes 100, right?
The value of A is 100, B is 100
B
and C is also
C.
100. Okay, that is multiple assignment. Here multiple variable with multiple value. Here multiple variable with single value. Okay, this is multiple assignment. Is it clear? Okay. Then what is character set? What is character set? Emmanuel, what is character set?
Set with the characters.
Set of characters. Which are the different set of characters included in character set?
char, care. No, ma'am, I don't.
Why? You didn't complete that revision. Here, different character set are alphabets. Achyut, which are the different character sets? All of you switch on the video.
Words.
Alphabets. That is letters.
And the numbers.
It's not clear, Achyut.
Numbers.
Digits. Then
Special characters.
special characters and white spaces. Okay. Special characters and white spaces. So characters means that include alphabets, digits, special characters and white spaces like enter key, space bar, just like that. Okay. These are the components that are under character set. Then what is token? Token means it is the smallest individual unit in a program. Then what is keyword? These are the tokens, important tokens. Keywords, identifiers, literals, operators. One more is there, that is punctuators. Punctuators or delimiters. Adul, what is punctuator and delimiter or delimiter?
And the special symbols like comma, semicolon.
Punctuators or delimiters means special symbols, or square bracket is an example for delimiter, flower bracket, then semicolon, comma, colon, all these are examples of punctuators or delimiters. Okay, then so the 5 tokens are keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and punctuators. Then what about keywords? Dia, what is keyword?
Already defined in Python like true, false, and none.
That is, keywords are also known as reserved words. That is, a word that have a predefined meaning in Python interpreter is known as keywords. Then, which are the keyword? Which are the keywords that are starting with capital letter?
False,
Gauri?
none, true.
No, okay.
None, false, true.
First one it is?
None,
Okay. None.
false,
Okay. True and false. All the other keywords are small letters. Okay. So all the keywords are small letters except 3. That is none, true, false. Okay. Then how we can display the keywords in Python? Anyone? How we can import keyword, then how we can display the keywords in Python. First statement, you want to import the keyword module. Then print keyword dot KW list. Okay, so for printing the entire keywords in Python, first you want to import keyword. For that, import keyword. After that, print keyword dot KW list. It will print all the keywords. Okay, so import keyword. After that, print keyword dot KW list. Not this point. That is, import is already there. This one is important. keyword dot kw list.
And for what are we using this?
For displaying all the keywords in Python. That is, under when we type this statement, after execution, it will print all the keywords in Python. That is, if, for, true, false, all the keywords in Python. It will display all the keywords in Python. Is it clear, Achyut? Okay.
Yeah.
So to display all the keywords in Python, we are using import statement. First, you want to import keyword module. After that, print keyword.kw list. Okay. The next one, it is identifier. Based on identifier, so many questions are there. Assertion, reasoning question is also there from this identifier. Then identifier means which are the rules related with identifier? Ashwin, which are the rules related with identifier? The first rule.
Ma'am, variables must be non-keyword.
We can't use
There
keywords.
should not be space between the
Okay. Keywords.
must be only made up of letters, numbers, and underscore.
Then completed.
Cannot begin with number.
Mm.
They can contain number.
Okay. All of you switch on the video. Aditya, Srihari, Ashwin, Krishna, all of you switch on the video. So the first thing, keywords are not allowed in identifier name, and it is a combination of alphabets, number, and underscore. Okay, it is a combination of, we can use alphabet, ABCD alphabets. In any case, the number 0 to 9 numbers we can add underscore. No other special characters are included in identifier name. Okay, in the case of identifier, we can use only alphabet, number, and underscore, but we can't start with a number. 9 ABC is invalid. Begin one identifier name with either alphabet or with underscore. Here, in the case of identifier, this underscore is considered as a single character. So if the identifier name is underscore ABC is a valid identifier. Okay. So in the case of identifier name, we can include only underscore, alphabets, and digits, and all the identifier name must begin with either underscore or with a single or with a character. Okay. Then no other special characters are allowed. Then keywords are not allowed. Then if I'm giving if, is it a valid identifier? Anyone? Is it a valid identifier? No. Yes or no?
No.
Here I am giving I as capital letter. Then is it a, it is valid. Okay. If I'm giving if, then it is not valid, because this small letter if is a keyword. But if I'm giving if like this, here I is capital, so we can use this if as identifier name. Is it clear? Okay, so if we start with small letter I and small letter F, then it is a keyword, so we can't use this if as identifier name. But if we use capital letter IF or small letter I, capital letter F, this is also valid identifier. Okay. Okay, Achyut.
And for printing the keywords, like can you tell again?
Printing?
And for printing all the keywords.
Print keyword dot KW list.
ma'am, it's showing me a keyword is not defined.
You just import keyword. Now also.
Like,
Import-
import keyword means we have to just type important keyword.
Import keyword. Okay. Then next it is literals. You just do it, Achyut. So what is literals? Literals, the alternate name for literal, it is constants. Constants, okay. There are different types of literal. There is string literal, integer literal, float literal, then sequence literals. Okay. That is constant values. Then what about operators? Before that, I will just explain this data types. What is type conversion? Operators. What is type conversion? Anyone?
Convert it to the data type. which we-
Converting one data type to another data type, that is type conversion. There are two types of type conversion, that is explicit type conversion and implicit type conversion. This is done by the user. Example, that is int, float, char, string. These all are examples for explicit conversion. Explicit conversion means conversion done by the help of or with the help of user. Did you get it, Achyut?
I forgot the important first time.
Okay, after the class, you just run the program, okay? And you just, if there is
No,
any
it's
error,
okay now.
okay. Explicit and implicit conversion. Explicit conversion means the conversion done with the help of user. For that, we are using int function, float function, char, and string str function. That is, when we use this int function, the content in this int function will convert it to int. So user want to write this function, then only we can convert the content into int. Okay, another one it is float, then another one char, last one it is str. Then eval is another one, eval. What is the use of eval? Eval. Eval is used same as int. Okay, if you want to convert the one character into integer, we are using int or eval. Okay. Eval is another built-in function to convert a data into integer. Then implicit means it is automatically converted from one data type to another data type without the help of user. It is automatically converted. That is implicit. Implicit conversion, it is automatic type conversion without the help of user. For example, if the value of A it is 11 and B it is 5, then C is equal to A by B. Here we are using, first we are using one integer value. B is also another integer value, but it is converted, or if I'm giving B as 5.1, then this 11 is automatically converted to float value and the division operation is happened. After that, the result is copied to C. Okay, here B is 5.1 and A is 11. In this case, the 11 is automatically converted to 11.0. And after division, the result is converted to, copied to C. This is automatic type conversion. Type conversion is also known as type casting. Data type conversion is also known as type casting. Typecasting. Two types of conversion. It is explicit and implicit. Explicit is without the help of user, that is automatic conversion. It is implicit. Explicit with the help of user. For that, we are using some built-in functions. Then what is the use of ID? ID is a built-in function. Anyone?
The location.
Now, to return the memory address of a variable, we are using ID. ID, that is A is equal to 10. This 10 is stored in memory with some address. 10246886 is the address. So A is equal to 10 means 10 is stored in memory in a particular address. If you want to display this address, use this print ID of A. If I'm using print ID of A, it will return the address of A, memory address of A. After executing A is equal to 10, if you want to display the address of A, just use this ID function. ID is a built-in function to display the memory address or location of a variable. Then what about type? Shivani, what is type? Krishna, what is type, Krishna? Type function? What is type function? Aryan? The name itself is the meaning, type. Type is for displaying data type. Okay, type is for displaying data type of a variable. That is, if I'm using the same statement, A is equal to 10, if I want to print type of A, what is the result? Here, it will print the data type of 10. Here, what is the data type of 10, Aryan? Data type of 10? Integer. So it will display int. How is the output after the statement? That also you want to notice. That is Adul, after executing this statement, type of A, what is the result?
In angular brackets, class, then int.
Class, then within single quotes int. Okay. You just type this statement in your interpreter and write the correct syntax and output. Okay. So for print type of A, it will print the type of that variable A. Here the type it is integer, so it will print int. If it is 1, here it will print float. Class float, float. I think one comma is there. 1 second. No comma. After class class, then single quotes, int, close the angle bracket. Okay, this is the correct representation. So if you want to print the type of a variable, print type. Type is the built-in function to print the type of a variable, and the result of that type function, you just notice starting with angle bracket. First, the output section, the first it is class. After that, after some space within single quotes, the data type. If it is integer, then it will display int. If it is float, it will display float. Then if it is string, string just like that. Okay. So that is type. Then data types. Data types, so many data types are there. Based on integer, based on number. The first one, it is integer, that is whole number. Second one, it is float, it is floating point number. This is an example. This 10.1 is an example for float. The last one, it is complex. Based on number, three types are there: integer, float, and complex. Complex is represented in the form of 5 plus 10j. You can use small letter j or capital letter J. Okay, or 5 plus 10j. This is also true. What happened, Aryan? Okay, so the three number representations are integer, float, and complex. Integer means it is 10, that is whole number. Float means it is 10.1. Complex we can represent using 5 plus 10j. If the question is 5 minus 10j, here this is the real part and this is the imaginary part. This is the real part. This is the imaginary part. According to complex number, the first one, it is the real part, and second one, it is the imaginary part. Which statement is used for printing this real and imaginary part? My question is A is equal to 5 plus 10j. How I
Real.
print A dot real will print real value. A dot imag will print imaginary part. So this is the complex number representation. If you want to print real value, use A dot. Here this is A dot real. If you want to print imaginary value, A dot imag. Here the default, if I'm giving integer value here, but the default value of real and imaginary, it is float. Okay. The default data type of real and imaginary, it is float. So my statement is A is equal to 5 plus 10j. After executing this statement, the result is 5.0 and 10.0. So you just notice this output. After executing a normal complex number, here I'm giving only integer value 5 and 10, but after executing the print statement, the result is 5.0 and 10.0 because the default data type of complex number, real and imaginary part, it is float. So your answer is 5.0, 10.0. Then some other representation, it is here. What is the value of real and imaginary? Achyut, here what is the value of real and imaginary? 5 minus 10j.
Real is 5.
What, Achyut?
5 is real.
Yes. I'm using print A dot real comma A dot imaginary. What is the output?
Ma'am, 5.0.
5.0. That is A dot real is represented like 5.0. And A dot imaginary is represented as 10.0. So in the case of 5 minus 10j, the answer is 5.0 and minus 10.0, because here it is minus 10. The original form it is, that is, this can be written as 5 plus minus 10j. Okay. 5 minus 10j is equal to 5 plus minus 10j. So here the real value it is 5.0 and imaginary value it is minus 10.0. Just make a star for this question. 5 minus 10j. If I am using a complex statement 5 minus 10j, complex number 5 minus 10j, the value it is, real value it is 5.0, imaginary value it is not 10.0, here it is minus 10, so the value it is minus 10.0. Then one more option it is, if I'm giving the normal print statement is this, if I'm using a dot imag comma a dot real, what happened? Here there is a slight change. So Ashwin, here what is the result, Ashwin? A dot imag comma a dot real. Srihari,
5 and 10.
that is the mistake. Here it is a dot imag. Here what is the value of imag? Here it was okay, that is starting from real, then imaginary. Then here I just replace the order. A dot imaginary, first you want to print imaginary value, then only real value. Then how?
10, 5.
Here minus 10.0 and 5.0. Okay. So in the case of complex number representation, it is represented like this. The first part is the real part. Second part is the imaginary part. But if you print a dot imag first, then it will first print the imaginary value. So you just go through the print statement. If it is a dot imaginary, first you write the imaginary value. If it is 10.0, then or negative 10.0, you just write the imaginary value first. Then only real value. If it is a dot real comma a dot imaginary, first write the real value, then imaginary value. Okay. Then based on this negative value also, these are the 2 points related with important points related with complex number. Is it clear, children? Any doubt related with these topics? Only that dynamic and static, isn't it? I will explain that topic and operators in the next class, okay? So next day, you want to learn loops. That is, if, different types of ifs, for, while, then jump statements. Okay. Monday, you want to study the topics if, for, while, and jump statements. Okay. So after completing, I will give some, today I will send some MCQ question based on this, and we can do some assertion and case study questions also based on the first chapter. Okay.